Video games. What do I even say about these things? Video games are very hit or miss, especially nowadays, now that anyone can make one. Even games from big companies are very hit or miss, Nintendo. Honestly, I have the same feelings for both AAA games and indie games. Some of them are the next game of the year. Some of them were made because the creator was bored. Hello, it is me, your favorite gay boy, Game Gear Gabe, except I'm Clippy. If you don't know why I am Clippy, I don't feel like explaining this to you. Anyways, my favorite video games! I just stopped in here to tell you that this isn't going to be the full 25. I'm going to split this video into 5 parts. 25 through 21, 20 through 16, 15 through 11, 10 through 6, and 5 through 1. This episode is going to be 25 through 21, so I'm going to split it into 5 parts, and I'll do 1 part for every 100 subscribers I get. Okay? Okay. On to the list.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yoshi's Island, Hollow Knight, Plants vs. Zombies, Sonic Adventure, Super Mario RPG, Paper Mario 64, Lego Batman, Wii Sports Resort, GTA 5, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Super Punch-Out, Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered, Among Us, Rock Band, GoldenEye, both for the N64 and Wii, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Who's Lila, and finally Psycho Pomp. Now to the actual list.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome back to this
Rage games are very hard to judge. There's bad rage games, there's good rage games, but it's kinda hard to think critically about them, especially while playing them. Most of the time, you play them, rage, and forget about them. The one exception, in my opinion, is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. This game is a very unique experience. You play as a naked man in a cauldron with a hammer. What? You use the hammer to move, by swinging it on terrain. Creativity is very on point here. The first obstacle is this tree. When you first play, this tree feels like an immovable obstacle, and once you get past it, you feel like a king. But when you replay the game, you can get past this tree in no time flat. In fact, that statement kinda sums up the whole game. Every single unique obstacle seems immovable the first time, but once you understand and get the hang of it, you can do it over and over again without breaking a sweat. Obstacles like these include this shed, this pipe, this part, this slide, these stairs, the orange hell part, this snowy bit, this stupid bucket, and this steep hill. You also get dialogue from Bennett himself from time to time. The things he says lead into each other. He starts off with talking about the difficulty of starting over, then the game this game is inspired by, called Sexy Hiking, then the philosophy of game design and rage games, then the culture of people who watch people play those games, then the point of view of the player who's playing those games, which eventually wraps back around to you, the player. This game's writing is genius. It really makes you think about the game as you play it, and not in a way that makes the game feel worse, like Five Nights at Freddy's or Mario. This game is a uniquely humbling experience that deserves respect.
Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through.
FNAF is a series I'm very mixed on. Some games are very good, some are very bad, and some have the potential to be really good, but have some major problems holding them back. But there's one game in the series that I think pushed the FNAF formula to its absolute limit, and that game is FNAF 4. FNAF 4 is the peak of FNAF. The environment is one of the few in FNAF that's scary because it's realistic. This bedroom could feasibly exist in real life. The animatronics, however, well, I've seen some extremely varied thoughts on these designs. Some people love them, and some people hate them. What side am I on? I think it kinda depends. Nightmare Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, BB, the Jackos, and Night Marionette look amazing, But Nightmare Fredbear is too wide, Plushtrap is too scrawny, and Nightmare Mangle is just a mess of wires. That said, Nightmare might be my favorite animatronic in the whole series. But now, on to the gameplay. You have 2 doors on your left and right, the bed behind you, and the closet. Nightmare Bonnie will come from the left hall. He starts at the back of the hallway, and if you flash him at this phase, he'll back off. If you don't, he'll make it to your door. If you shine him while he's at your door, he'll jump scare you, so you'll instead need to close the door on him. How can you tell if he's at the door? You'll hear breathing, but it's very quiet, and it lures you in for a jump scare, which is genius. This game uses audio extremely well, but I won't go too into detail because we would be here all day. If you don't deal with him in time, he kills you. Nightmare Chica is the exact same, except she'll sometimes go to the kitchen and she comes in from the right hall and not the left. Nightmare Freddy will summon his Freddles on the bed, and you need to flash them. If you don't, he kills you. Nightmare Foxy works the same as Nightmare Bonnie and Chica, except instead of heading to your door, he enters your closet. When he does, you need to close the closet doors on him or he kills you. Oof. This is the gameplay loop for the first 4 nights. In between, you get these cutscenes. They show the story of a kid named Evan, yes, Evan, not Michael, for those of you who still believe that fucking theory, who gets tormented by his brother. This is Michael. Honestly, these aren't that interesting. They all just end in Evan bawling while his Fredbear plush says, "Tomorrow is another day." Hey, motivational poster people, please put this on a poster. It'll be flying off the shelves. The final night has Nightmare Fredbear coming to take a bite out of you. Everyone else is gone, leaving only him. When you hear footsteps, he's moved to one of the hallways. You need to get there fast, but don't hold your light on him for too long. If you do, you need to briefly flash the light to make sure he's there, and if he is, close the goddamn door. If he laughs, he's moved to either the bed or the closet. Just shine your light on him. This boss fight is kinda hard, but honestly, the 4th night was harder. But the cutscene that plays after this... Also, in between nights, you have to play a minigame called Fun with Plushtrap. You need to listen for sound, and stop him on the X. If you do it successfully, you skip 2 hours the next night. The 6th night returns you to dealing with the main 4, and once you get to 4 AM, they leave and Fredbear returns. Now, I know I said the cutscene after night 5 was something, but the cutscene after this night is perfect. I know a lot of people talk about Connection Terminated when talking about the best FNAF endings, but this genuinely pulls at the heartstrings. I think I'll just let it play out. Anyways, the extras menu. You can look at the animatronics, the jump scares, use cheats, and add challenges. There's also a secret 7th and 8th night. They're both the same as the 6th night, except instead of Nightmare Fredbear, you have to deal with Nightmare. He's essentially the same, except he's faster, more aggressive, and he can do a fake laugh to fake you out. I won't talk about the box. This is the peak of FNAF, and I won't hear any arguments. There isn't, has never, and will never be a better FNAF game with this, especially with Steelwool at the helm.
You know, Henry, the General says that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's why I eat 7 pancakes every 3 hours.
Choose Your Path games are very hit or miss. Sometimes they're done really well, sometimes they're kinda just a gimmick, and sometimes they're a game about seeing what things will lead you to what outcome. That's not fun. My favorite one of these, though, has to be... not Undertale. Undertale is actually in the honorable mentions, but I didn't mention it there because I wanted to fake you out. My actual favorite Choose Your Path game is the Henry Stickmin Collection. Made by Puffballs United and Innersloth, who were the creators of a certain other game. The Henry Stickmin Collection takes all of his previous adventures and gives them a new coat of paint. Did I grow up with any of these games? Well, only fleeing the complex and escaping the prison. All escaping, no stealing. So when I saw this game, nostalgia definitely came to me, and I was immediately hyped. Then I only played it over 4 years later. The game stars Henry Stickmin, who commits war crimes for money. Yeah, the prologue, Breaking the Bank, has you breaking into a vault full of money. It only has one ending, 5 fails, and 5 bios. That's it. Escaping the prison is much better, having you escape a prison because you just tried to rob a fucking bank. There's 3 endings, one which has you having a standoff against cops, which ends in you stealing a cop car, one which has you sneaking without being seen and without failing in the most 1930s ass way possible, and one which has you calling a lawyer who definitely doesn't reference anyone. I just referenced all 3 of this game's main selling points. Goofy fails, plenty of out there endings, and lots of references. All of the references are over the top and make some sort of sense. All of them are also really funny. Funny games aren't always done right, but this game does the concept really well. Stealing the diamond has you breaking into a museum to steal a Tunisian diamond. It's packed with even more neat references, clever achievements, and fun endings, including one where you ride a scooter cycle, one where you sneak through and go undetected, and one where you use the help of the Chaos Control Center. The Chaos Control Center will be reoccurring as they try to control chaos, usually caused by Henry's antics. However, they usually just end up causing more chaos. In this case, they launch a robot who destroys the place, and Henry decides his life is more important than the diamond, and when he's far enough in the distance, the diamond conveniently gets launched all the way to where he is, and the mission is complete. This ending is called Just Plain Epic, so it's safe to say it knows its place. Infiltrating the airship has you infiltrating an airship because of the government. You can either side with the government, the Toppet clan, or go rogue. You can kidnap the man in charge, steal incriminating evidence with the help of Charles, the absolute GOAT, join sides with the clan, or steal their precious ruby with the help-ish of the CCC. Fleeing the complex has you escaping a maximum security Russian prison. You can do that by busting out with a truck and making the warden think you're dead, one where you use the help of this chick named Ellie, one where you use her help and then abandon her, one where you call my goat Charles, and one where you call the Toppet clan and then get betrayed. Finally, we have an exclusive final chapter, completing the mission. For this, you need to combine the endings you got in the previous games, which gives you access to 16 new endings. I'll go over the endings in a quick, lightning round, but not the combinations to get them. I'll leave figuring that out to you. You can team up with Ellie and Charles, or just Charles, to take down the Top Hats for a whopping 4 endings, steal money from their money cart for 2 endings, steal all their stuff in their spaceship, or just steal the entire spaceship, 3 endings where you join the Top Hats, 1 where you get kidnapped by Right-Hand Man and have to escape, 1 where you steal an emerald, 1 where Ellie confronts you for abandoning her, 1 where you get revenge on Reginald for betraying you, and the last one is yet another one where you destroy the Top Hat ship with Charles. The thing is, the ending cutscene is unique. I'll just let it play out.
Henry? You there? Ah, man, that roughed me up. Got him, though. There's gotta be another escape pod around here somewhere. We did it, though. We got him. It was a pretty good plan. Could say it was the greatest.
This game is a roller coaster, and the only reason it's not higher is because these kind of games are more watching than playing. Kind of like Minecraft Story Mode, this game is everything. Empowering, hilarious, clever, heartwarming, and heartbreaking. Consider this game every game. Actually, maybe not, considering another entry on this list. But we won't get to that game in this ranking, as it's in the top 20. So, yeah. Henry Stickmin Collection. I'm really excited to see what Puffballs United has cooking up in the future with their current game, Among Us, and I am very excited to see what kind of projects they have in the future.
Obey me, Wario. I am your master. Mario is your enemy.
Mario. You know, Mario. Everyone knows Mario. I know Mario, you know Mario, your FBI agent probably knows Mario. Everyone and their mother has heard of Mario. He is practically Mr. Video Game. In fact, his original name was supposed to be Mr. Video, until they went with Jumpman. Now, we'll be seeing a whopping 4 Mario games on this list, the first of which being kind of a hot take. Okay, technically we'll be seeing 3 Mario games on this list since one of them isn't a mainline Mario game, but it's still a Mario game, so whatever. I don't know if anyone loves this game as much as I do, but man, Super Mario Land 2 is peak 2D Mario. Starting with Mario himself, he's fine-tuned to perfection, especially considering this is on the Game Boy. As for the plot, Mario owns a castle, apparently, and Wario stole it while looking for Daisy. This is the first appearance of Wario in the entire series, and he's become a pretty popular character among fans. You start outside Mario's island and have to make it through Gate Course. It's a standard first level, but a good one. Then you can go to one of 6 zones. This is where I think the game nails the way it's laid out. You need to head to all the zones to defeat the boss in order to get the zone's golden coin, and by getting all those coins you unlock the final level. And if you get a game over, you lose all the coins you got and have to fight the bosses again. I think this system works perfectly. There's an actual penalty for getting a game over, but that penalty isn't too harsh. Anyways, despite the fact that you can play these zones in order, we're going to talk about them in the order the game wants you to play them in. Starting with Tree Zone, you start at the tree's roots, then go inside the tree where there's sticky sap, then go through the leaves or a beehive, and finally head to the top of the tree to fight Big Bird. I kid you not, that's his name. The boss fight is essentially Winged Boom Boom, except his difficulty kinda scales based on if you have the carrot power up or not. Space Zone is accessed by this level where you float in a bubble, which leads you to outer space. Well, I can't say creativity isn't on point here. This leads you to fight Tatanga from the first Land game. He's basically just Big Bird again, except he can shoot stuff and you can fly, so he's piss easy. Macro Zone is a giant house. Call Nathaniel Bandy. You start in the fireplace, then the front yard, then the main floor, then the attic where you fight Sewer Rat. Wow, these are really creative boss names. He climbs on the walls and the ceiling, and has a sharp nose, so you can only hit him sometimes. Pumpkin Zone has you traveling through a haunted castle, a graveyard, a ghost house, and the pumpkin itself where you face off against... Witch? That's her fucking name? She teleports around and shoots fire at these cauldrons, which cause the lids to shoot up into the air where there's insta-kill spikes. Mario Zone has you traveling through a Mario toy in toy-related stages, including a level made of balls and a level made of Legos. Apparently, this level is owned by Nathaniel Bandy. The boss of this zone is the 3 little pigs. You know, from the children's story. Fun fact, their names are Boopo, Bucci, and Boopin. Hello, editing me here. So, I fucked up their names. I fucked up Bucho and Boopo. Their names aren't Bucho and Boopo. Their names are, Bucci and Buro. My bad. The first one rolls around, the second one does short hops, and the third one does super hops. Probably the hardest boss in the game, aside from maybe Wario. The final zone takes place in a turtle after he eats you. Wow. Anyways, you go through a regular water level, a sunken submarine, and a whale's insides. Ugh. Then you confront an octopus who shoots smaller octopi. Now, before we talk about the final level, there's a few extra things we can do. Coins actually have a use in this game, as you can use them at a casino to get lives. There's also this random level on the world map called Scenic Course, but it's an auto-scroller with Goombas. That's it. There's also secret levels, but most of them are unnotable, aside from the one in Macro Zone, which uses these fire blocks. It's pretty fun. The final level is Wario's Castle, and it is brutal. You have piranha plant statues, Wario fists activated by pressure plates, rising and falling bone platforms, these things, these weird face mini-bosses, and the face-off against Wario. This fight is awesome. The first phase has him doing some basic running and stomping, the second phase has him use the carrot power-up to float, and the third phase has him shooting fireballs at you. This fight is difficult, climactic, and a fitting end to this game. This game just makes me happy, but I can acknowledge it doesn't belong any higher. My favorite part of this game is definitely how it at least tries to make every level feel unique, which is more than most other Mario games do. This is actually a trait shared by the two other mainline Mario games on the list, but those games had more technological advancements and more speedy movement. That said, I understand why this game has slower movement, since the Game Boy screen is so small. This was the last 2D Mario game that had soul until Mario Wonder came out, so I definitely do think it deserves to be here.
Oh yeah, I have OCD, oversized cock disorder.
By far the best Sonic game, Sonic Mania was made by Christian Whitehead, proving evidence that even fans can make a Sonic game better than Sega. You get 5 characters to play as: Sonic, who has a drop dash and added moves when you grab an elemental shield, Tails, who can fly, Knuckles, who can glide, climb walls, and has different stages and 2 different bosses, Mighty, who can ground pound and reflect projectiles, and Ray can also fly, except he flies more like Cape Mario from Super Mario World. Most of the zones are taken from other games. Green Hill is really good, with the first act combining Acts 1 and 2 from Sonic 1, and Act 2 combining Act 3 from Sonic 1, as well as the new stuff. It's incredibly big and acts as a great first level. Chemical Plant introduces water, these flipping platforms, tubes, this bouncy goo, and much more branching paths. Studiopolis is the first of 5 new zones. This zone has bumpers, orbinauts, these weird flies, gambling, and these trucks that teleport you to a different part of the stage. The music is also great, but that's standard for Sonic. Flying Battery is my personal favorite. It has these things, platforms that come in and out of pipes, these magnetic areas that will move metal spikes and platforms, and these fake animal capsules that hold rings for some reason. Breast Garden is the first level to change between Acts 1 and 2. Act 1 has you navigating through what I think is a greenhouse. The level has these spinning platforms, enemy generators, crushers, Mega Man platforms, and these weird crabs. Act 2 takes you outside and puts you in a snowy area with snowy things. Stardust Speedway introduces the capsules and these weird fire beetles. Hydrocity is a water level, but it does the concept well by letting you stay out of the water for the most part if you're good enough. It's also the last water level in the game, which is nice. Mirage Saloon has you in a flying section, which is really boring. You then reach a train, which takes all of 20 seconds to get past. This is probably the worst level in the game, and the worst part is, if it weren't for this stage, this zone would be peak, because Knuckles' first act is peak Sonic. The second act has a lot of bouncing around, which is fun. There's a weird bird theme in this level, and I don't know why. Oil Ocean takes place in Texas and has you dealing with oiled slides, octopuses, submarines, and pollution. Reminds me of America. Lava Reef is a lava cave. It has buttons and lava. That's it. Metallic Madness has you change size, go into the background, deal with moving springs and enemies that move spikes, and a few other gimmicks. Titanic Monarch is a perfect final Sonic level. The first act is amazing, and the second act has you getting through 4 different mini levels. And finally, Egg Reverie has you fighting Eggman and Heavy King as Super Sonic. The bosses are also amazing. We have these things who are a clear reference to the Egg Wrecker, the Death Egg Robot, who's piss easy due to his legs not having a hitbox, this thing which surrounds itself in floating spears and shoots them, a game of Puyo Puyo with Eggman, Heavy Gunner, who shoots missiles at you, the Egg TV, which doesn't even really fight you, this Recycler, which creates enemies, this weird Spider, which you need to bounce into the spikes, this thing, which has saw blades for hands, Heavy Shinobi, who needs to be hit midair to become vulnerable, a giant fire beetle, Metal Sonic, a boss where you take control of a mech and hit Eggman, an underwater mech where you go through an auto-scrolling area before actually fighting the boss, a Megapede, Heavy Magician, who can transform into Fang the Sniper, Bean the Dynamite, and Bark the Polar Bear. Really random, but I do appreciate it. This thing which shoots platforms up, this giant Octosus, this drill guy, Heavy Rider or Heavy King depending on who you're playing as, the final boss from Sonic 1, this gotcha machine, the red eye from Sonic 3, this weird thing which will teleport you to areas where you need to survive an attack from Heavy Gunner, Shinobi, Magician, and Rider, and finally the true final boss where you destroy Eggman's mech and Heavy King. The special stages are also the best in the series, and the bonus stages are the Blue Sphere stages. There's also a few bonus modes for beating the Blue Sphere stages, and there's a debug mode. There's also Time Attack, which doesn't have medals, so I don't feel inclined to play it at all, Versus mode, which is a race, and Encore mode, which has you play the game with a fresh new coat of paint. And you can use these monitors to play as 2 of the 5 characters, kinda like DKC4. Overall, this is easily the best Sonic game, and there's no contest. And on top of that, Sonic Mania Plus costs $40, so definitely try it if you have the money. And those were my 25th through 21st favorite games. Do you agree with my takes, or do you want these games to burn in hell? Let me know in the comments in as violent a way as possible. And I will see y'all next time. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Bye-bye!